I think we are on.
Yeah.
We didn't get like a little clappy board or a green light or anything.
Like a countdown or anything.
We are. They're just like, you can do it.
Chuck you
All
out
right,
on stage.
everyone. Hi, everyone. My name is Eva Chen, and I'm so excited to be here for the launch of the One and Only Sparkella. It is a wonderful book. It is sparkly. It is happy. It is purple. It is great. My daughter already stole it and hid it under her pillow. But before I introduce our very special guest of honor, I want to remind everyone that the only place to get an exclusive signed print is to order a copy from Barnes & Noble at the link we're sharing in the chat now. I'm just pointing like this way, assuming the chat is this way, but there's a chat thing on the side, and just click that link because you can pick up your copy and receive an exclusive print. And if you're posting about this on Instagram or Facebook, use the hashtag Sparkella, and then there's a very cute Instagram as well that is @Sparkella. Okay, all that homework out of the way, and now we're going to talk about the main event. I am here with Channing Tatum, obviously, which you know. He is an actor, producer, and now a director with his debut film, Dog, which he's co-directing with his production partner, Reed Caroline. They founded their production company, Free Association, with Peter Kiernan. And Free Association has produced one of my favorite hilarious movies, 21 Jump Street. I've watched it many times. And the Magic Mike franchises, which I'm sure some people in the stream have watched many times as well. They also produced the worldwide stage experience, Magic Mike Live, which I know my assistant, Nick, who's watching this, really wants to go to. So, Henning, I'm going to hit you up about that later, which premiered in Las Vegas and is in London, Berlin, and Australia. But his favorite role ever to date is being father to his 6-year-old daughter, Everly, who loves a sparkly, rainbowy, and just like joyous like pattern. So without further ado, I'm very excited to welcome Channing Tatum. Channing, before we go into the reading, like I thought I would ask you some questions. Like I know we're going to be talking like kid questions, but like having written a few children's books myself, I know that kids, like the first question they always ask about is snacks. Do you have any snacks with you? Do you like goldfish crackers? What is your favorite snack?
Well, look, goldfish crackers you can almost never go wrong with goldfish crackers. I think they're almost like the universal child snack. So I would definitely say yes to that. My personal favorite, I don't have any with me right now, which I wish I did. White cheddar popcorn. White cheddar popcorn, pretty much any time for me is a win. I could put it in a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I could.
That is weird.
Put cayenne pepper on it. You could do anything really with it.
All right. Cheddar popcorn. Who knew? And like in the future green room that's not virtual, we'll make sure to have that.
Deal.
But yes, okay, so we satisfied that question. So any kids that were planning on asking that question, I'm sorry, I stole your question. Anyway, I want to turn it over to you because you are going to read the book, which is very exciting and delightful. So I'm going to turn it over to you to read the book, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk all things children's literature.
Deal. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Eva. All right. I promised my daughter that I would do this. So here we go. I'm going to double up just for sake of. And this is my good luck crown. Maybe I'll do this side. All right. So, yes, I did write this. I absolutely love my daughter, Evie, but she just inspires me every single day. And I've just learned so much from her. And probably one of the most brilliant things about her is that she's just so her. And she's just so alive. And I wanted to write a book that really had to do with just how I see her. And she's just so sparkly. And she's so her. And she's teaching me every day to try to be more me. So here we go. All right. Let me see here. How do I make sure There we go. All right. The one and only Sparkella and her silly looking dad. Sparkella. I am always wearing boas and getting my face painted and my nails done all the time. So if you see that sprinkled around here, don't be shocked. All right. It is my hold on. How are we doing this? It is my first day at a new school. I am ready. Glimmering pencil case. Check. Glittery ribbons in my hair. Check. Shimmering backpack. Check. Even my shoes glisten. I am not nervous because I sparkle. She even has a disco ball in her room, and there's always a speaker for dancing. Ella, it's time to go. Dad, how dare you? What did you just call me? Oh, right. Sorry. I haven't had my coffee. Sparkella, Princess of the 11th realm of Glimeria, your chariot has arrived and must depart now at this very moment of moments because there aren't any more moments like this one. Also, it's prime time. Prime time is ready to, prime time is shine time, we say together. And this capital P Princess Sparkella is ready to shine. Dad throws on a fuchsia boa, and we are off. The sunlight plays on my shoes and bracelets. I am a walking disco ball. Dad notices the dancing lights, and both of us break out some moves. Even the dog kind of wants to dance. That is actually a signature move of mine. I'll show you guys that later. I don't know what it's called. It looks like a stretch. My new school looks very different from my old school. My palms start to sweat and my heart rate goes up, but I am not nervous because I sparkle. And I have to be honest, I had to repeat that to myself right before I started reading this because I get nervous when I read. So I am not nervous, I sparkle. I'm not nervous, I sparkle. I notice that no one else does though. Kids look at me and the parents stare at Dad. You ready, Sparky? You ready, Sparkella, Dad asks. Maybe I am a little nervous. I guess Dad can tell because he puts on his I'm gonna give you a pep talk face. Okay, Sparky, what do we do when we're a little nerve-sighted? Nerve-sighted is a word that my daughter and I made up, and it's mixed between nervous and excited, so it's nerve-sighted. So what do you do when you're a little nerve-sighted? When I'm nervous about how things will be, I close my eyes and I put my hand on my heart, and I know that everything I could need is already there inside of me. That's right, my little glitter poop. I am not a glitter poop, I said. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. 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 And after a few yes, you are's, no, I'm nots, Dad looks at me with that primetime look and whispers, tiny dance party? I smile and laugh at our private dance party. That's so tiny that it's just for us. That's how we dance, kind of with our fingers sometimes. All right. With that, Dad gives me a great big hug and says goodbye. I walk into my new school ready to take on the world. But the world doesn't seem ready for me. The teacher introduces me to the other kids. Everyone, please welcome Ella, she says. I give my biggest smile. You can call me Sparkella. Someone in the back giggles, and not in such a nice way. At recess, a boy shouts, "Gah, your shoes are blinding me," which I know isn't possible. At lunch, a girl eating a boring old cheese sandwich tells me that my peanut butter, jelly, banana, and sprinkle sandwich looks gross. What is she talking about? By the way, Ella's shoes are kind of my favorite. These high top leopard lace ups, sick. And during art class, my painting of a unicorn does not get the response I thought it would. Did I sparkle too much? I think that's a pretty good unicorn, personally. I don't know what people wouldn't like about it. After school, Dad picks me up. He's now wearing a watermelon tutu. Some of the kids point and laugh. Sparkella, how was your first day? Fine. And my name is Ella, okay? And the next day, I try to be less sparkly. I wear gray pants and I use my dad's tan backpack. I tell dad to take off his mint colored tutu. I am nervous and I do not sparkle. Very different. Sad. When dad drops me off, he asks, "You feeling okay, Ella?" I don't answer. I just keep walking straight into school. I sit quietly at my desk. I stand in my square at recess. I eat a peanut butter sandwich with no jelly. That should be a law that you're not allowed to do that. There's no jam, no fruit or sprinkles on it, just peanut butter and bread. That. I draw something boring. And even though no one laughs or points at me, I feel even worse. That night, after dinner, Dad comes to my room. I am not in a mood for one of his pep talks, but to my surprise, he says, "Ella, I had a hard day at work. I have an idea. Do you know what I think would make you feel better, Dad?" I dim the lights, I switch on my disco ball, and I give him my best prime time face. He smiles and turns the music way up. A not so tiny dance party. Woo! We shake and we shimmy. We twist and we twirl. We do the dirty dancing lift. By the way, we actually do these moves. They're pretty solid. Afterward, I can tell Dad could still use some advice. What do we do when we're not so sure how things will be? Dad closes his eyes, puts his hand over his heart, and I put my hand on his. And we both say, "Close my eyes and know that everything I could need is already there inside of me." Then I say, and one more thing, we sparkle. Dad gives me a big grin. "Thanks, Ella. It's hard to be yourself sometimes." "Yeah," I say, "and sometimes all you can do is be more you-ish." Pow! Next morning, I decide to take my own advice. I sparkle more than I ever have. And it's true. Look at her. She's like literally exploding in sparkles. And when I come downstairs, Dad is sparkling too. "Ready for school, Ella?" he asks. "I sure am, Dad," I answer, and it's Sparkella. I am nervous, and I also sparkle. When I sit down at my desk, I notice there's a girl next to me is wearing a sparkly headband. "Your headband is super cool," I say. She smiles big and bright and says, "Thanks, I love your shoes." I'm feeling less nervous, so I say, "My name is Ella. Actually, it's Sparkella." "I'm Tam," she says. And she does have a really beautiful little sparkly headband. At recess, Tam and I dance in the lights created by our outfits. Tam is a really good dancer, and some of the other kids join us. I lend some sunglasses to the boy who complained about my shoes. He does a silly dance. During lunch, I give half of my almond butter, jam, blueberry, and whipped cream sandwich to Tam. She lets me try some of her banh mi. It's delicious. In art class, we paint flowers. A couple of kids don't understand my painting, but that's okay. That's the thing about art. Not everyone gets it. After school, Dad is waiting for me in a bedazzled jacket and matching crown. He looks fabulous. Some of the other parents stare, and now I can tell that they wish they shimmered as much as he does. "How was work, Dad?" "I took your advice, and I decided to be me. And I am so glad that I did, Ella." "How was school?" I think about meeting Tam and dancing together and sharing sandwiches and painting with my heart. Dad's right. It feels good to be yourself. There's only one word to describe how good my day was. Can you guess what it is? It's sparkle. Sparkle. Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. Dad laughs. Well, of course it did, my little glitter poop. I laugh and say, I am not a glitter poop. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. 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 Yes, you are. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. And that is the end. E for Ebony or Ella. D for Dad. Ta-da! Tiny dance party? Not so tiny dance party. All right. I don't know exactly what to do now. I think it was supposed to come back on.
Well, I definitely think you have to keep that crown on for the rest of our conversation. Did your daughter make that crown for you? And did you?
Actually, she's a wizard with pipe cleaners. I swear she could almost create anything. It's like duct tape for her. She can just, it's all purposes. There's a thing. I have a dog, and the latch for the dog's like leash broke, and she's like, "Wait a minute, Dad!" And she like whipped out a way like a pipe cleaner, and she was like, and just like whipped it together, and I was like, "Wow, that was incredibly useful."
So she's basically the MacGyver of pipe cleaners, right?
Yeah, you give her almost anything, like an avocado and a pipe cleaner and a little glitter, and she could probably start a car with it. So, it's pretty extraordinary.
And are the feather boas from her like dress up? Does she have a dress up chest? Does she have like kind of like a corner of the house that's like overrun with toys? Like
we just got a new place and we're literally in boxes. So there's definitely boxes right now, but in our old place there was we made like a secret room for her that was like everything magical and anything costume. She would literally walk into it and just stay in there for hours and come out for certain things, and it was definitely there's like a whole costume chest.
Isn't like 6 such a great age? Like my daughter is 6 as well, and it's like the most magical, fun age ever, I think.
Yeah, Abby's actually 7. She's about to be 8. But yeah, 6 is when I just like I don't really know. Like I was like the first one in my friend group to have kids, and I have an older sister, and she's trying to have a baby now. And so I never was around babies. So I wasn't ready for the baby phase. And then once they start coming out of that baby phase, I was like, okay, now this is what I was ready for. This is what I was like planning on. And it really is so much fun. Like I have probably more fun with her than some of my like very good friends. Like she's really hilarious. I don't know where she gets her timing from, but all she loves is telling jokes and riddles. She's in like a really big riddle phase right now where she just tells riddles constantly. It's like a torrent of riddles at the dinner table right now.
That's awesome. Now, how many times did you did you use her as a focus group? Did you read the book to her? Did she see the cover before it came out?
Yeah, I didn't consult with her, probably to her. I'll probably get in trouble for this. Now that I think she's watching this, so I'm not sure. But I didn't consult with her while writing it. I did consult with her when we were doing the art. I had like 3 different artists to pick from, and then I just was like, which is your favorite artist? And she's definitely Kim Barnes was like it was like definitely her. Didn't even need to think about it. And some of the art, some of the clothes, when we were like kind of drawing it and fine tuning it, Evie actually did have these like high top like leopard shoes and these other like little leopard things. Because her grandmother wears leopard all the time, and it was sort of like a thing. She loves like the arm socks, like the hand glove things, and she's I took a lot of inspiration, like creatively, I guess, because some of my favorites were like Punky Brewster and Pippi Longstocking and things like that, and they were just really punk rock and cool, and yet like really free, and so that's kind of was my notes to Kim. And then Kim just like created this world that was just so bright. I think when I got the book, I was actually shocked at how bright it was. I was looking at black and white images with a few reference photos, drawings of like what the world was really going to look like, but I got like emotional when I actually had it in my hand. It was just like, whoa. I was like, I wasn't ready. I really wasn't ready. I think all along this journey of like I never planned on being an author, especially a kids books author. It just kind of like I met someone along the way that just like held my hand through it. It was a really sort of I've just been lucky, and I don't know, it all has just felt really meant to be, from Jean. And
Yes, she's my editor too. She's like an icon.
I mean, literally an icon. I mean, she's
Truly.
been the guru. I've just been like, what do I do? What do I do, Jean? You tell me what I do, and I'll do it. And then Kate at CAA, she really held my hand through like the beginning of this, and I have a business partner now, Cody, that now we're. Sparkella is like sort of so designed, like she loves fashion, and my daughter does this like fashion sort of Zoom where they like actually do fashion, like they're actually drawing dresses and things like that, she's just so design forward that, you know, I definitely want to make like little pieces and partner with.
I know you. I got an email today from a friend that you designed like a sequin bomber with Rockets of Awesome.
Yeah, Rockets of Awesome is incredible. They're so much fun. Of like
Cool.
A brand. Like, yeah, they're all of their clothes. They're even their adult stuff, their kid stuff, and yeah. So I mean, my daughter loves like when I wear the same socks. Like she thinks it's like she's like, you have funny socks on, Dad, and then I have a little pair for her, and it's really fun. And I think that was my way to like. I was a little nervous about being a girl dad. You know, I didn't. I was, you know, from the South, played sports. You know, ran around in the woods. You know, catching snakes and messing with gators. Like I had no clue what it was going to be like to be a girl dad, specifically a girl dad like in California, which is so different than the way I grew up. And I think all my nerves kind of were quelled slightly when we just would play, and just I just figured like wear whatever, dance however, play all the parts, be the evil dragon and the evil witch, and then you can be the prince and the king and the whatever. You can do them all and just dive in. And I dove into her world, and when we had just like us time, that was the easiest way to just connect with her, and for us to have like a real, where I was like, okay, I can do this now, you know, and I felt really great after that.
And who knew, like all those years later, you would be in a pink and purple feather boa with a pipe cleaner crown and designing clothes. So you were like going to add fashion designer to your resume next.
Killing it.
I'm into it. Like girl dad, I have one
design. I'm not so hot. Wait, sorry. Say that one more time.
I was being a girl dad is like I can imagine very magical because it's a very special bond that fathers I think have with their girls, and it brings out a different side to them. So it's wonderful. That makes me so happy. So when the message of the book is such a affirming one, you know, to be yourself and to be proud of who you are. But tell me about the process of coming to that message. Like, tell me about your writing process. Were you on a typewriter, gazing out? I don't know why I always imagine Californian like writers to have like the best view with like beautiful trees, and you're sitting there stroking like your chin. Yes. Like, what was your writing process like?
Coffee, yeah. You know, I actually wish I could say it was like a typewriter. I was probably doing it on my phone. I end up doing like a lot of things on my phone just because I have all the apps like on my phone, and it's not the same stuff on my computer, and because I weirdly love Pinterest. Like I like absolutely am obsessed with Pinterest, and even though I can have Pinterest like on my computer, it's just easier for me to just, I don't know, it's easier for me to just dial it all up on my phone or my iPad. So I wish I was like that really, I don't know, nostalgic sort of typewriter, and I'm but it really wasn't that at all. Yeah, and you know, coming to like even what story I landed on. Evie had this. I've told this story much. So sorry if you've heard it again. But Evie had this like poncho. It was like this like, it was a watermelon poncho, like colored, and then when you held your arms out like a T, you were like a giant slice of watermelon. And she just thought it was hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and from a young age, she always just was gravitated to the most hilarious, because she's just innately funny, and the most hilarious and the brightest thing that she could possibly find. You know, she has all the normal princess dresses and things like that I think a lot of girls do, but she also had these really weird, strange pieces that she just loved, and she loved this thing. And I remember I was about to take her to preschool, and she had it on, and then I was like, all right. let's go, let's get in the car. And she like was about to start going towards the door, and then she kind of like sort of went to go take it off because she started panicking. And I was like, wait, I was like, we can't change right now. We gotta go. We're gonna be late. And she's like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to wear it. I don't want to get laughed at. I don't want people to laugh at me. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is the very first time that I watched her be somewhat self-conscious, because usually it was like the coolest thing that she owned. And like I think I watched her have to negotiate that, what she thought was like funny and cool, and then she had to go into these new places with these new people that, that weren't her family. They were just people and friends, and people in the class and things like that. And it was really interesting to watch her kind of navigate it. And and she did it really, really well. Like she still loved sparkly things. And I mean, it's a rite of passage. I mean, it was kind of beautiful that I got to be there to like watch it all, I guess. But yeah, it was really, that was sort of the impetus of the whole thing. And then just the idea of doing it the dad way. And it's my way is definitely probably not like a lot of other parents, that I notice. And I like playing. I like doing weird voices and things like that. And just, I'm probably more of a kid than I am a parent. And that's been like probably the biggest adjustment, is that you have all these grandiose sort of ideas, or ideas of grandeur of like, I'm going to be the parent that gets my kid into more trouble than actually keeps her out of trouble. And then you start being a parent and you realize that's not actually like, that's not smart and not possible. You got to create boundaries, and you got to kind of create some sort of rules for the house, but still keep it fun, and still like keep it really relatable, and still be their buddy, be their homie. And so it just goes a lot smoother when they feel like you're kind of one of them. And that was my tactic, I guess, and that was kind of how I crafted their little relationship.
So you mentioned earlier that when you were a kid, you were playing with like trying to catch snakes. Like what else was like a young Channing Tatum like? Like what were you like when you were 7, almost 8, if you remember?
I remember asking my mom later in life, like I was like, Mom, was I like a bad kid? Like, and she just gets this like 1,000-yard stare, like, and she just goes, no. He was just really busy. And like, like she's just like, her life flashed before her eyes.
Yeah.
I think she's, I think a lot of boys are like this, but I don't think I was special. But I definitely had a lot of energy, and I was constantly climbing things. And I think she said later, she's like, it was just easier to try and like mitigate the disaster afterwards than it was to try to keep you from not doing something. Because I would be up a tree or on the house or doing something kind of. I liked being very physical, and like I played sports a lot. I think and martial arts, they put me in a lot of like things to kind of keep that energy sort of quelled and positive things. I remember playing soccer, and I think the story goes that it was my first year of like soccer when I was really young, and all the parents like came to my mom and were like, look, we love Chan. He's great, but he's just hurting our kids. Like apparently I was playing. We think he'd be better at football. I think, well, why don't maybe you try football? So I was definitely a rough and tumble. And weirdly, Evie's not. She's not a wallflower. Like she's not. She's tough. Like she always, when she bumps her head and she's like, got the Tatum head. Don't worry. Like she's. I think more than a few people have told her that I got a thick head. So she knows that, and she's tough. I've seen her take knocks, and I'm just like, oh, that looked hard. But she just kind of bounces. She's like, I'm fine. But then on the contrary, though, she's a contrarian, so she's a little drama as well. I wonder who she gets it from. She has two actors for parents. But I remember one of the first times that we're at like the farmer's market, and she went to go. She was really young. I mean, like, I don't even know how old she was. Maybe like 1.5 years, maybe 2 years old. She went to go grab one of those honey sticks, and like and all I did was grab like her like hand and like the honey stick and make sure she didn't knock the whole thing over. And she goes and like grabbed her arm, and she's like, you hurt me, like, and And I say that this girl didn't use her arm for almost a week straight. She would forget that she had an act going, and she would grab something and she'd be like, oh, oh, like, oh. I mean, she's a method actress. Like we called her Meryl for like years. Like she's just, it's funny. Anyway.
That's so funny. What do you, with the book fundamentally about like learning to be yourself and like realizing that it's best to like, you know, celebrate yourself. Was there ever a point where you felt like you didn't fit in, like whether you were a kid or kind of felt like, you know, different from your peers, and how did you overcome that kind of crisis of confidence, if you could call it that?
I think I played a lot of like rough sports, and like, you know, I think I had the, you know, the whole sort of mentality that I needed to be the tough guy and tough kid, because I think I was pretty tough. But I think what I realized later is that I actually very much my mom. I think I was trying to be my dad, but I think I definitely have my dad in me for sure. But I'm very, very much my mom as well. And I think I was a really emotional kid. I think I just had like big emotions, and I would cry really easily. And I think that always made me really, I don't know, feel like I wasn't allowed to like sort of be that. So I think if I felt different or like, I don't know, something was off about me that I maybe didn't see into some of the other boys around, I think I was just really emotional. I didn't see a lot of my buddies like crying if they even, like I would cry if I did something good even. Like I remember running a football, like a kickoff back. And I think I was just so happy that I got a touchdown, and then I ran all the way back. And literally, I think I started crying and like in my helmet. Like I was just like,
Are you still a big crier? I cry very easily. Like I will probably cry like in 5 minutes from now. I cry very easily. Like, are you still a big crier?
You're also 9 months pregnant. So.
Extremely pregnant.
Yeah, extremely. Thank you again for doing this, being so great. Yeah, I think I do actually. I like when The Biggest Loser, I'll cry at The Biggest Loser every single episode at some point. Like I don't know what it is when they're just like, I don't want to be like this, and they're just like punching. I'm just like, I get it, man. Just you can do it. Like, and I'll get emotional now because you just watch like all of their emotions started coming up, and I just go for the ride. That movies, I cry a lot. I remember, God, what movie was it? I was watching a movie on a plane, and I think I even went and like researched why movies are more emotional.
The altitude, like when you're up there in the air, it's like it's compressed. Like your taste buds are also like everything tastes like more intense too. Like when you're squished up in that little like metal box.
I think that's probably right. I think that I'm going to sign up for that too. I thought it was just because everybody's scared and you feel like everything's dire. Like you're just like, I pray that the plane doesn't like nothing weird happens. I think it was like Finding Neverland, or it was like a really like it was one of those moments in the movies, and I was sobbing like loud to the point where people were like looking back to make sure that like everything was okay. There was just like, and I was like,
It's hard. That movie. I watched The Notebook on an airplane, and I like literally like was like when he was like dangling from the Ferris wheel, screaming, "Will you go out with me?" I was like, "Oh, I can't do this." It was
just like, go out with him. Come on.
Come on, give him a chance. All right.
Ryan Gosling. Come on, just go out with him. Don't let him die. He's a treasure.
I know we have some really wonderful questions that kids submitted from across the country. So let's make sure that we have time to answer the questions that kids sent in. So we're going to transition over to that really quickly before we come back to the two of us. So turning it over to see these cutie pie questions.
I need to plug it in.
Hi, I'm Tatum. What is something special you do together?
What is something special? Sorry, guys, I'm plugging in my. Can you plug it up? What is something special that I do with Everly? We do this thing called Night Ninja. is one of our things where, you know, when it's bedtime and when we don't have to wake up super, super early, she goes down, and then I sneak into her room and I say, it's night ninja. And we sneak out and we go to the barn and we paint for like 45 minutes and draw on like a big canvas, and then we sneak back in. But we love sidewalk chalk, love slime. Slime's always a go-to. Water balloon fights. Yeah, I think that's some good ones.
My name is London. What's your favorite game of pretend?
What's my favorite pretend game with Everly? I mean, we play so many fairy games that it is kind of hard to even keep track of them all, where there's always someone threatening fairyland, and we have to like do something to protect it, and usually make some sort of spell. Or there was a funny one when she was really little that I had to ban because it got out of control. One of Evie's like favorite Disney stories growing up was Sleeping Beauty. So she wanted to play Sleeping Beauty, which she was always obviously the Sleeping Beauty, and then I had to play all the other parts. Like I had to be all of them, and she just played asleep the whole time. And then I was like, you know what? I'm done with this one. You know, you're gonna have to start pulling your own weight. You got to start playing some other characters.
Say I. Yeah, you're awesome, but say I. Oi, say I. It's my son's birthday on the 9th of May, and he just wants to say who's your biggest fan, other than Toy Story. And he'd like to know if the book is any good for boys, too.
Okay, Ronan is really cute. And what a cool name, also. Is this book good for boys? I think it is personally 100% good for boys, because it really doesn't matter if you are a girl or a boy. I think your first day to new school can be very challenging and very, high on the scale of nerves and nerve-sighted. I think that shining or sparkling can be anything. I think you could like the color blue or camouflage, or you could like the Hulk or Iron Man or Spider-Man or Batman. You can like any of those things, and if that's something that you love and you have a personal like identity with, I think you should be that, and that's your version of sparkling, and that's your version of shining. And I think the lesson is the same. Just be the most you that you can possibly be, and everything else will just be okay.
Hi, this is AJ, and she'd like to know what's the best present you ever got your daughter?
Oof, that's a hard one. AJ, I liked your little top knot or top sprout. Let's see. What? I would have to say I'm gonna get selfish here. I I got my daughter Everly an electric dirt bike, and that she loves to ride it, and that was probably my favorite gift that I ever got her, and the fact that we can both ride dirt bikes together is my favorite. I wonder what her favorite would be. I got her an Alexa for her room because she loves stories and she loves going to sleep sometimes on the weekends, not on the weeknights, listening to a book on tape.
Hi, my name is Joanne, and I'm 5 years old. And what did your daughter taught you other than being yourself?
You're also very cute, Julia. That crown, lordy. What else did she teach me? She's taught me so many things. I don't know if I've ever been as creative as I have with Everly. My job is being an actor, and to write stories and to bring them to life. And I can promise you, I like playing with my daughter. I don't think I've ever been more creative than when I play with Evie. She's so creative, so you have to match her. And she's just so into whatever the game is or whatever the make-believe story that we're in, and her mind is so alive and creative that she really ups my game. And really, you have to stay in it. She knows if you're kind of half in, half out of the game, and she really demands that you be 100% in. And so I think that's what she's taught me. She taught me creativity on a level that I don't know if I've reached in any other aspect of my life. I don't know what that says about me, but
Hi, my name's Cody. What do you do when it's quarantine?
quarantine. Oh, what's up, Cody? Let's see. What did I did a lot of things. I'm a little guilty. I feel I have a little guilt because my quarantine was not so bad. I know some people had really tough experiences in quarantine, and my quarantine consisted of getting up, and in the beginning, I was helping my daughter do school online, and then after school, we would go ride our dirt bikes, we would do art, we would paint birdhouses, we would do all kind of fun stuff. But I really got really into training and being really physical. We were doing long mountain bike rides and trail runs and things. I love being outside, so we went camping a lot, and so the quarantine was not so bad for me. I hope yours was good.
Hi, this is Caroline. We want to know what's your favorite memory together.
Oof, that's a hard one. I've had so many. Um, hmm. I would have to say that one of my favorite memories, off the top of my head, was the first time that we did Night Ninja. We felt like we were being so naughty. We're sneaking out of the house. We snuck down to the barn, and we painted a complete masterpiece. We were really working on long projects, like long art projects, instead of just like really short ones. We were really painting this giant canvas that I hung up. It was like a tarp, and that was probably one of my favorite moments. I've had so many though. I mean, the first time we went camping, we went sort of RV camping, and it was just me and Ev, and that was really special. Just to be exploring and finding new things. I think we came across like these weird little gems that were on the ground, and we came up with a whole story that lasted an entire day. So yeah, I think one of those two.
Yeah. What books do you read with your daughter?
Well, what books do we read? We read Sparkella. We read Sparkella. I'm trying to get her into reading like a little older books now, like Peter Pan and things, and read the actual old text, but it's not going very well. she really likes her. We like the Tickle Monster book, where you basically just absolutely bring her to tears, tickling her. One of my favorites, I think one of my favorites, I haven't read it in a while, actually, you should read it, is this book called Farmer and the Clown. It's such a cool book because it's just pictures. And it's about this clown that falls off a train, and then his farmer finds it, and he's got to like take care of this little baby clown. And it doesn't have any words, so the parent or the child can completely make up whatever story that they feel that the pictures represent or don't represent. And Evie and I would take turns on each page, kind of like, making up a story. And this was a while ago, so I think I'd like to read it again with her and see what her story would be now.
Let me unmute. I didn't want to have like a unmuting disaster. That was so much fun, Channing, and I'm really glad that they had subtitles for some of the kids' questions, because kids' questions on every book tour I do, I'm always like, I'm just gonna try to figure out what you just said, but it was extremely cute. So those questions were great. Thank you to everyone who submitted them, and thank you for being a part of this event. I wanted to wrap up, but before I do, I want to remind everyone to check out the book. And if you want to get an exclusive signed print of this, you would have to go to Barnes & Noble. And also, if you want to post about this book, please use the hashtag Sparkella. And also you can mention them on Instagram. They have a very cute Instagram page. So before we sign off, though, I wanted to end with one more question. For all the kids who are watching and the parents who are watching, like, Channing, what would you say, like, one message to the kids who are watching, like to the 6-year-olds, the 7-year-old, the Codys, the Harpers, the Quinns who are watching? What would be your one message to them before we log off for the night?
My one message, I think in every day, every day of your life, more than likely you'll have one moment where you're not sure what to do. That you're going, I don't know how I feel, or I'm nervous, or like I'm afraid, or just wondering of what to do. And whenever you have that feeling, just get really quiet and really look in, and let your mind or your heart or your belly or wherever that you talk to yourself on the inside, let that place like really come up with the answer and whatever your thoughts are, because no matter what the question is or what's going on, it's you have the answer inside of you, and you just trust your gut on anything, and you're going to be just fine.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. And for everyone watching, don't forget to pick up your copy, and thanks for tuning in tonight for this wonderful story hour and Channing Tatum himself. So thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful night.
Eva, you're amazing.